Okay guys, we got 4 different power stations here, and we're going to test the Vanpowers 100 watt solar panel on each of them. So we've got a pretty decent Sunday, so we're going to start plugging them in and taking the results. First one we're going to try is the EB70. Well, she's starting to take a charge, and look at that. It's a 100 watt solar panel and we're getting 92 watts. I wanted to try that one first because it's probably going to take in the most. Now we're going to go over to the Jackery. And this one will probably top out. Let's give it a second and see if it goes up anymore. Well, it looks like 63 watts. I was expecting to get around 75 out of that, but it's a Jackery. Now, the one that will probably take in the least will be the Vanpowers, because it will only take in 65 max. We're going to give it a second. Right now we're getting 45. We're going to adjust the panel and see if we can do any better than that. Okay, we adjusted the panel a little bit and we're at 60 watts. It's probably about, I've got as high as 64, 65, but you're pretty much getting the most you can in the Vanpowers, so the solar panel's doing a good job on it. And the last one we'll check is the Ecoflow River Pro. Now on this one, I got an XT60 to a 5521. Give it a second to pick it up. And there we go. Expect this one to get in the ballpark of the EB70. And we're hitting about 79 watts. Not too bad. Let's go back to the Bluetti and just see if it's just taking a better solar input than the rest of these. At 87 watts. So we hit 90 something now, 87, so the sun has a little bit to do with that. But the EB70 is taking in more from this Vanpowers than the Ecoflow. So we played with the panel there a little bit to try to get a better adjustment. So we're hitting 88 watts. Next we got as high as 90 something. So this is a great panel. And you can see with the multiple tips, we can go from, because the Bluetti and the Jackery take the same, we can go from one to the other with the same tip. And the Jackery's taking in 54 right now. And then with the Ecoflow, we had to buy an adapter for it, but it does work on this Ecoflow. We'll switch to it one more time. See if we can do any better than 70 something. Give it a second. 79. So that's great. This is just a 100-watt panel too, so remember that. One more time with the Vanpowers. Takes the charge controller a few minutes. I imagine we might get a little bit more, but we'll see. So a lot of times your solar panel has to do with your charge controller and your power station. So and again, the sun did go behind the cloud. But we'll end on a high note because the EB70 just wants to take in more solar. This is a great little panel, and you can't really compare. Sometimes the panel is better than the charge controller that you're using to bring the solar in. So as we can see here, between the Bluetti and the Ecoflow, the Bluetti charge controller is getting, you know, the panel's not moved, it's in the same spot. We're getting 87 watts from it. And we'll go back over here. And the most we got was 79 from the Ecoflow River Pro. And that's all, you know, internals of your power station. So sometimes, you know, you can blame the panel, but we can see here that it varies from power station to power station, and that's based off the charge controller. So it's about, you know, a 10-watt difference that we're getting more out of the EB70 than we are the Ecoflow with the same exact panel. And even the Jackery is, you know, it's hard sometimes with the Jackery to get the maximum out of it because of their charge controllers. But there you go. And what we're really looking at is the Vanpowers 100, and it's doing its job. Now there's a look at the SunPower cells. This is again the Vanpowers SP100, and these are really nice cells. This is a great panel. It's made really well. I don't know if you can see the stitching, but that's double stitch. The material is top quality. It has carrying handles. This is a nice panel. That's the Vanpowers SP100. I'm going to try to show you one of the other benefits of the Vanpowers SP100. You can actually charge USBs. You got 2 USB-A's and 1 USB-C, and then your DC, there's your solar panel. So we have a iPad and a action camera plugged in. You can see the indicator showing green light. The one is flashing because there's nothing on it. But we were getting 79 watts. It's still plugged into the Ecoflow. So I imagine that we're going to lose some watts by charging these other items, and we'll go take a look at the Ecoflow and see how much. Okay, we're charging an iPad and an action camera. We were getting 69 watts, and it's dropped. Well, we're getting a little bit of a burst because of the sun, back up to 64. So you do lose, so we're losing about 15 watts charging those items, but we're still charging a power station and 2 other items. Now let's move over to the EB70 and see how much it lost, because it was at 89 last we checked. It got up over 90 at one point. So we're still bringing in 71 watts charging a iPad and an action camera. And then if we go to the Vanpowers, it'll probably have the biggest effect on it. We'll see, but we have a 100-watt panel, and this can only take 65, so it might not affect it as much. So we're still settling in to around 39 watts. So it does have a little bit of an effect on that. And the last one we will check will be our Jackery. And it will probably affect it pretty good too, because we weren't getting as much on the Jackery. So we're getting around 39 watts, but we are charging an iPad and an action camera. But obviously the EB70 is the best performer in taking this charge in. See if it'll break 70 again. There we go. Very good, and that's a nice feature of this product, because you can keep your items out there under the pad, out of the sun. See, so these items you can just slide right under the SP100. So you can charge them there. You could even put them in that pouch and zipper them up. Now maybe not the iPad because it's a little big, but if you had a cell phone, camera, you could charge drone batteries on here directly from the sun and cutting out the middleman. Okay, so the last thing we'll show you, so we're bringing in 87 watts from the Vanpowers SP100. We're going to use the 100-watt power delivery port and charge the Jackery and the Bluetti at the same time. Now obviously we just want to see if anything changes as far as the input watts. Not really. Went up 1 watt, just flickering back and forth. But now we have basically getting a 26 watt gain into the EB70, but we're charging the Jackery from the power delivery port at 54 watts. So we're charging 2 power stations off of 1 solar panel. And we are, of course you can't tell an exact percentage on the EB70, but we're at 79% on the Jackery. So just another way you can use this panel to charge multiple power stations. So we are getting a gain of watts going into the EB70 while charging the Jackery from one Vanpowers SP100 solar panel. So that's the look at the Vanpowers SP100 portable solar panel. One thing I did want to show you real quick before we leave is again just what comes with it. You get your user's manual. You get a Anderson to 5521. You get all the tips. Now I purchased this separately, so I won't include it, but it is an XT60 to 5521 for the Ecoflow River Pro. And then you get a short 5521 cord. Again, I added an extension to that, so I can go about 12-13 feet with that. So that's what comes with it. It'll work just about on any power station with the tips. I'll put links down below if anybody's interested in this panel. You can get it for about $199. It is competitive with all the solar panels in this portable space, and it performs really, really well. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel, and have a blessed day.